Welcome back to another episode of Better with Abbie May. Today we have just jumped into the little podcast studio and I have Dean with me. Hello, Dean.
Hi, Abbie. How are you?
I'm good. I have brought Dean along. We're doing a little bit of a guest practice episode, so I get a little bit better with the whole guest podcasting thing because podcasting is very new to me. But Dean, how long have you been podcasting for?
Ooh, since 2019.
Since 2019.
Watch out. Except I messed up. I got into the game before the COVID burst of podcasting and I started recording. And then when COVID happened, I got over it and then I stopped.
Oh, no.
And then everyone else got into podcasting and I felt like I already had a foot in the door and I should have left it there, but I didn't. But then we got back into it. Now we own a studio, so.
And now he
all
owns
works out.
a studio. So Dean owns the Nest studio, which is where I record this podcast and we do a lot of our content stuff. But I met Dean, we're just trying to figure it out, like 3 months ago.
Something like that, yeah. I think you came in to do a shoot.
Yeah.
We met that way and then you hit me up about wanting to do more work and be in the creative world. And obviously you had a background with being in studios.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because I think you were saying before how people always ask you like, oh, how long have you known this person, because you are so like involved in the studio now and my life in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think if you're good with people, it doesn't like the time that I feel like the Gold Coast fast forwards time
100%.
when it comes to connection and meeting people. But I think in general, if you're a pretty open out there, nice person, you meet someone, like it shouldn't take long for you guys to go, oh, I see who you are and let's do some cool shit really.
Yeah, agreed. And I think both myself and you are very vulnerable people and we're very like, it is how it is and we're very open with like everything that we have going on. So I think we're able to just like bond really quickly that way because there is no like weird bullshit secrets. It's like we say it how it is. But yeah, it's been really cool. Just like I love being in the environment, obviously coming here and starting my own business. The first thing that I realized I missed was like that environment and like a collaboration kind of space. So it was really cool kind of connecting with you, and then obviously we got along, which helped. So
Yeah, it only helps, yeah. You have to like
it does help. So obviously, Dean, you've created the Nest, but like tell us, I guess, the whole concept of the Nest. I love where the name sort of came from and the whole purpose behind it.
Yeah, so the Nest, I called it the Nest for one because I wanted to create a space where people felt comfortable. They felt like kind of homely. And I'm like, where would you feel at home? Where would you feel comfortable? And I just think like a nest is like pretty much like a second home, like it's a home, more or less. But it's like the beginning of a home. And I think it's I think about like nurturing and caring and putting energy into something. And that's obviously like what happens in a nest. It's like you kind of create these ideas or podcasts or photos or video, whatever it may be. And you can share that to the world. It's like, obviously you create it here, you nurture it, you care for it. And then what do you do once like an egg's laid is it flies off and goes out to the world. So it's like creating something here that then can be seen and enjoyed by the rest of the world. So that's where I kind of came up with the idea of like the Nest is like making a place where people feel very comfortable and want to come and create cool things to put out to the world. And it was funny when I was creating the business, my dad was very business minded and my mum was very like caring and nurturing. And there was like these two polar opposite dynamics that I kind of feel like I blended into one, where it's like creating a space which is like aesthetic and warm and comforting, but also there's a business element to anything and kind of pulling that into it as well. So having the mixture of the two. And I said this little moment where I feel like I have taken the best traits from both of my parents and kind of put them into this business, which was a really cool moment. But yeah, I just wanted to make somewhere where people would come and they would be inspired to create and feel connected to people. And whether it's events or podcasting or parties or whatever, it's like if you can come here and you feel good about it, I was like, okay, my job's done. And I feel like that was the kind of purpose around why I wanted to build it and obviously grow my own podcast as well. But I think it's super important for people to put themselves in a good environment. And I think we don't realize the power that your environment has over you. It's like you go through day-to-day life and you're around these people that make you show up the wrong way or make you say the wrong things, and you can get into gossip and things like that don't serve you, and it's just all noise and bullshit.
Yeah.
And we convince ourselves that we can't get out of it because of reasons like, oh, but I'm friends with her boyfriend or he's my housemate or whatever. And you really realize at a certain point in your life that you can curate your entire life exactly how you want to do it.
Right.
and you can cut people out. And if you start putting yourself first and go, what do I need? Do you serve me or not? And once you realize that, and it's a hard, like you have to have hard conversations, not only with other people, but with yourself. And you realize you in my life makes my life harder. It makes me more anxious and it makes me more stressed.
Yeah.
I need to remove that out of my life. And that can be as much as like an unfollow on Instagram. That could be as much as maybe not going for a walk or getting a coffee at the same time as you know someone else would. Like you can set your life up so you just have all these good inputs within your life where it just runs smoothly. It doesn't have all these hiccups and all these issues. And I'm finding a lot now, like I'm unfollowing people and I'm cutting people out. And really they haven't done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but to me, I see that and it might make me react or feel something I don't want to feel. So I'm like, oh, I don't want that. Like that's not for me. And that's, again, not to say that I don't agree with what it is. It's just how that makes me feel. And people get so butthurt and take it so personal when like you unfollow them or don't want to hang out with them. But I'm like, I'm doing me and this is what I want. Like if you're a good enough person to respect that and understand that, then I'd have more of a want to be in your life. But it's normally the people that can't even understand the fact that I need that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's probably the like start and the end right there. Like if you don't understand that this in my life, and especially if you have the conversation with them, if you say like, if someone said, why'd you unfollow me? I'm like, I didn't like your content. It was making me feel a certain way and I just don't need that noise in my life. Sorry. Like I have nothing against you and I'd still hang out or whatever. Like I'm not going to be a dick to you, but I just don't need that right now. And I think once you start doing that and you start cutting out certain inputs, you realize like, oh, the world is not that noisy when you can kind of turn it all down yourself. So
100%. I think it's been really eye-opening for me. Obviously, I've just moved here from Sydney, so it was completely like a whole shift. And we've had lots of conversations of me just trying to meet new people, and it takes you a while to even figure out like who a person is, like what they actually value. Kind of all once you pull back some of those layers, and you're like, oh, that's who you actually are. You know, once you're tired, once you're grumpy, once you're in a shit mood, that's how you actually treat me. And it does take a while and it's kind of eye-opening, and it's that conversation, that really hard conversation that you need to have with yourself. And it's just because this, like, we were friends originally or we were friends at one point doesn't mean that I need to keep you in my life, doesn't mean that we need to keep fostering like a relationship that at the end of the day doesn't even serve you and it doesn't serve like your purpose. It's that thing of, like, I really like what you said when it's like you curate your whole life really by your environment and the people that you choose to hang out with, choose to work with. And like you said, the content that you soak up on a daily, like on your Instagram, who you choose to follow, that is going to have, whether you realize it or not, like a subconscious sort of play on who you are as a person and how you're showing up. So it's such a, like, coming into the Gold Coast and meeting people, and there's obviously like a big crowd of a certain type of, like, I would say the Gold Coast is full of a lot of big personalities.
Yes, that's what I put it, yeah.
A lot of big personalities, a lot of online coaches and online, business owners, and you need to have a big personality to be in this space. Like, you can't run a business through your social media and kind of be a really shy, introverted person. So it is like, we've got all the big personalities in one area, and it's like just trying to figure out where you fit in that sort of world, and who, once you pull back the layers of that big personality and their social media persona, like, who are they as a real person?
And I was thinking about this the other day because we have so many people getting famous off eating eggs, eating cream buns, smoking darts and running. And it's like all these things I was thinking about the other day, and it's like, it's not the thing you're doing. It's the fact that you're just showing up consistently and being different.
Yeah.
That's the thing that everyone's like, it's like everyone can do the thing you're doing, but it's like the fact that you're doing it in a way, and like, yes, your personality is coming across, and yes, you are being a funny person while you're doing it. But I was thinking, I can't think of the guy's name, the one that just ran across Australia, and he was very out there with like, I drink, I smoke, I don't give a fuck. And it's not to obviously make that seem like that's a cool thing to do, but it's just the fact he doesn't care, and he's just
he's not following the health wellness scene that everyone is promoting.
And I think in today's society, like, I always find this hard to understand, but it's like, if you do something in the health industry, you are so held to this standard of, if you do anything outside of that, you're not a real healthy person. And the same goes with, like, if you're a gym junkie or you're a certain athlete or you're in the fashion industry, it's like, if you kind of go off the mainstream of that, people just like shut you down straight away. So then everyone kind of falls into their little like niche or lane of like, this is me, this is what got me here, I'm not going to go outside of that. And then when you have people kind of come and just do all kinds of wacky weird shit and also get a following from that, it's like, well, he's just being him.
Yeah.
And he's not just sticking to the one thing, and people like resonate a lot more with that because it is themselves. Even if what they're doing, they might not, like obviously some people are supporting someone for running across Australia. They don't care if he's smoking and drinking, but like they like the fact that he's being him and doesn't really care about other people that would probably be saying, you could do this better if.
Yeah.
And this whole idea, it's like he might not even want to do it if he couldn't smoke a dart at the end of a 120K run. You know what I mean? So it's like people want to put their opinions and their ideas of what's good for them on other people. And then when you get these people break out and kind of just do their own thing, it makes people go, ooh, I want to watch more of this. Like it makes people invested in them because there's a character that doesn't fit the norm that they want to like attach themselves to, because I think a lot of people just fall into a bit of a mundane, somewhat boring life, and they see someone that's stepping out and going after what they want and actually doing it, and they go, ooh, like some of that.
And that's sort of how they're showing up online, right? And the persona that they're choosing to just like put out consistently. I think, it's quite interesting, like having those people, but then meeting them and then again, pulling back those layers. And it's like, who are they as a person? You're posting whatever it is, whether it's like the Krispy Kreme, you know, how many calories in the Krispy Kreme versus, have you seen that guy? And he runs around.
Yeah, I met him the other day, Chris. I talked about having on the pod.
There you go.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone. It's weird.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone, but it's like
Aussie sins.
That's his persona and that's his identity that he's built online. But it's like, who are you as a person? You know,
I think everyone, like, there's a certain, you ham it up a little bit. Like, there's a certain level of, I feel like, showmanship you do on camera that is probably, it's you, but you kind of 10x it a little bit. And I know for me, like I talk on a podcast differently than how I probably talk to you normally. Not to say I'm being different, but I'm like, I know that I'm kind of more on right now, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I thought about this the other day because I saw, you always watch these videos of people giving out money to people, but they're always filming it. And I was thinking about it, I was like, is that a good or a bad net positive? Because I'm like, yes, you are doing something nice. And by doing something nice and filming it, you're showing other people that nice things do happen in the world, and that's motivating. But then I thought about it because I'm like, would you do that when no one's watching?
Yeah, what was their trade-off?
Yeah, are you giving out money when no one's watching? And it made me really think about it. I thought about, you're a good person if you give out the money on camera and you give out the money off camera. And if you carry yourself in a way, it's like, that's where my real disconnect with, I guess, looking like a good person, but then being a completely polar opposite person off camera. It's like, if you carry the same energy on and off camera, like that's you. If you just do nice things when people are watching on camera, I don't really believe like you're generally a good person. Like you are a performer and you're showing everyone what they want to see. And like, because I always get conflicted with that about, I want to be seen as a good person and helping other people and showing up and doing all that. But then it's like what you do when no one's watching in the choir, like are you helping people then? And that's what's probably more important. Yeah. And that's what you've got to live with. But you see a lot of people now that only do stuff when they know that it's a trade-off. It's like the whole like conditional love and caring for people. It's like, I will do this for you if you give me something in return. Yeah. And it's like you become a businessman. You're not being someone that's actually generous and caring. It's like, no, I will buy you this, but I expect this back. And you have so many trade-offs with these different people in your life where it's like, like some people just want to hang out with and talk and that's it. Yeah. There's no more beyond that. But then there's certain people where it's like, you know, they're only helping you because you might have a studio or you might have just brought a new car or you might have a boat. And there's always like this weird give and take in the relationship. But you find certain people where it's like, they just get along with you. It all works out well. And there's no underlying, I guess, wants or needs that are there. And like, those are the people I think you really connect with because you can see them for them. But it's definitely, like you said, you definitely do some sieving when you first
100%.
get to somewhere.
It's that absolute like whiplash almost feeling that you meet someone and you do have this almost perceived like perception of their identity. This is who they are. That's how they were showing up. They must be a good person. I relate to them. I relate to this persona. And then, you spend that time with them and you kind of see these underlying factors and it's confusing, I think, really confronting. Like we're obviously in the digital age where that happens a lot. And I think even as someone who is trying to build a personal brand, like you almost get a little bit confused as well because, you know, you're trying to show up online and be this person. But as a person, like, we're human, we have shit days, and you have days that you don't feel like doing that, and you have days that you're like, I don't want to be this person today. It's like that really weird trade-off where you need to show up and be like authentic. And I'm in the space of like helping people build their personal brands, and it's be authentic. Like, the more that you can just show up as yourself, however that is, even in the days that you don't feel like yourself, be vulnerable. And I think that's why I always choose to just be so openly vulnerable. Like,
But this, the thing you just said there, when you don't feel like yourself, but
Yeah.
you're always yourself.
yeah,
You're just the sadder version of yourself. And people always go, myself is happy. I'm like, yourself has to be sad at the same time.
it does.
And like I said to you, when like I said, let's do this podcast. You're like, I don't want to do. I'm not feeling the best. A friend of mine literally did the exact same thing. She's like, she was being my assistant, and we need to record snippets.
Yeah.
First question she asked me, I ended up putting on, like, I was unhappy. I'd just gone through a breakup. I didn't want to talk to people. First question she asked me, I put on TikTok, about 800,000 views because it's real.
It's vulnerable.
And the whole idea, you said, like, I'm not being myself. And I'm like, just when you said that, it makes you look at, why is a sad version of yourself not you? Like, why do we disconnect from the idea that we can be happy and sad and it's both us? Like,
100%.
I wrote this thing the other day where I was talking about the idea of like chasing happiness as a goal.
Yeah.
And it's like you're chasing something that you know is not maintainable. Like, it's like you should chase experiences and actually being able to understand those experiences and those feelings, because it's like in the low points, in the sad low times, like, it should give you a better perspective on like how good the highs are.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the highs, it should also give you an understanding of like, oh, you can go back. It's like kind of, it might be a pessimistic way to look at it, but I always look at like when I'm low, how good it can get.
Yeah.
And when I'm high, I also know how low it can get. It's like a constant being self-aware enough to know that like you only get one with the other. And my comparison was like, imagine you have a child, like the overwhelming amount of happiness you would have in your body, like you just feel emotions that you've never felt before. But coming with that, the idea of ever losing them creates a new fear and sadness and anger and all these things that you couldn't describe either. Like, emotions can only get created with a opposite emotion attached to it. So you can't have an extreme happiness without an extreme sadness. And this goes on with every other emotion and feeling we have in our life. I think once you realize that, you stop just trying to chase one of them.
Yeah.
You just chase that from the whole start to finish, that whole range, spectrum of emotions. That's the experience of feeling that. And once you go after that, it's like, okay, well, I just want to experience all of that.
Yeah.
And understand all of that and realize myself is at the low point and the high point.
Yeah.
And you say like, I didn't feel like myself. I'm like, you don't,
You're still yourself.
You're still yourself through that whole, I guess, what'd you say, journey from low to high and high to low.
Yeah. And I think that's something I am very, like, if you know me, I am very guilty of, is like this standard that I hold myself to. And the moment that I am like at a level underneath, I just shut off. And I'm very bad at like talking about my emotions and just saying to someone, I feel sad because X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Like that for me, you know, you could pull it all the way back to like my family and the family that I got brought up in. We never really spoke about our emotions that way. And it was always just like, carry on, there's a job to be done. Like, you know, you'll feel better tomorrow. And it's definitely something I'm aware of and something I'm trying to somewhat fix. But yeah, like I think you 100% just called me out there, because I feel like if I'm not this happy, bubbly version, like I'm very social, I'm very, like I can talk to a crowd fine, but the moment I feel like I'm not on that level, I just shut down. And it's like I just want to cancel the day out, because I feel
waiting for perfect.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that level of standard that I feel like I can approve almost, which isn't a great thing to have. Like I do want to be able to enjoy the experiences. You know, coming up here, meeting new friends, whole new location, like building a business, doing all of that. Like there are a lot of lows that come with that, but I'm almost in denial of them. Like I can't have a bad day.
It's all got to be perfect.
It's all got to be good. And it does put extra pressure on myself. Like I can feel it in my shoulders, and, you know, I just carry this like extra doom and gloom. And, you know, I was even asking, it's really interesting when you talk to ChatGPT as much as I do, both for business and for personal stuff, you can ask ChatGPT, like, tell me my blind spots. And it's really interesting just having like an AI robot essentially tell you things that I somewhat already knew about myself, but it was like calling me out for just like my inability to take a rest. And it's like, how does it know that? It's not like I've told ChatGPT that, but it's like it can pick these things up just from me and my personality and the way I talk about business. And it's quite interesting. Have you ever asked ChatGPT?
Yeah, but it's like a
therapy session.
Therapist, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting, the things that it can kind of pull out about you and who you are as a person.
Yeah, it figures it all out.
Yeah.
I think like what you said as well, going back a little bit when you talked about like it is scary trying to show up as you all the time, and especially when you keep yourself to such a standard, because I think as someone that only wants to generate good emotions and make people feel good, that's what you want to put out to the world, because you don't want to put out this like misery and sadness and all this stuff. But again, like it's real and we feel that. So I've always like, I've had this want to like share more of myself with the world, and like I've done the podcast, but I'm always like, I don't know, I never push it properly and I never go hard with it. And I never like talk to my phone as much as I should, and all these different reasons. And it's funny because I know when, like, for example, when I had the party on my 30th, and like I was talking to my mum, and she's just like, everyone's like coming up to her and just like she felt so loved through how people perceive me, and she felt like so happy from that, and I felt like so loved as well. And like I don't really feel like I've got like a person on the coast that I would say is like an enemy, or like I didn't like or anything like that. And it's just funny to see where it's like the people that get to interact with me on a daily level or know me personally, I feel like have like a great deal of respect and love for me. And I'm kind of like, how do I market that to the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Like, how do I put that out to the rest of the world? Because there's something, even when like kids come up to me sometimes in the street that knew me from the racing, and like, oh, we love the podcast and we like what you do and you help me so much. And it's like, you hear that and I go, I need to do more of this because I feel like I'm good at it and it's working for like certain people.
Yeah.
And especially when I see people that are in a similar position to me, where I know they're more at the core of who they are. And it's like, not to be like cocky, but like I know I show up as a better person. I know I'm more empathetic. I know I'm more caring. I know I kind of give a shit. And then you see people that aren't like that and they're going so much further. And it's just like that whole like, what am I doing that I need to do differently? And I think it's like you said, it's like, it's just showing up.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
just
that word of consistency.
Yeah.
Because like every conversation, you are who you are. And like all these things you're saying about yourself is like true. And it's all you need to do is really just pull up that camera and talk to it more. But I think we get in our own heads because we think like, is this scripted? Am I like being authentic? Is this, because the moment a camera comes up, but you like almost question yourself. It is a little bit
100%.
confronting. You're like, okay, there's a camera here, but that's just who you are. And it's like the more you can do it, showing up daily, putting that out online, short form, long form, like all of that type of content, people will just like pick up that sort of aura about you, essentially.
Another thing I know, this ties into it, and I was just thinking about it then, but it's also the thing is when you put stuff out there and you speak what you consider your truth and you put out what you believe in, like you leave yourself very open to lots of criticism and lots of backlash. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't want to put themselves through, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you have an opinion, people will come at you.
Yeah.
And the thing I've been really thinking about it, because like obviously when people get a following, there's almost like this moral obligation to speak a certain way and show up and like be this role model for people.
Yeah.
But at what point do you become that? So it's like, just say Mark, the guy that lives next door, has 200 followers and he just posts about sinking piss and hanging out with the boys. Yeah. No one's looking at him and going like, you shouldn't be drinking as much and you should be promoting more healthy lifestyle and whatever. Like no one cares. But it's like, when you go from Mark to someone that's got 1 million followers, at what point through that progression of fame or influence does someone say, okay, now that you've got 10,000 followers, you need to show up because you're in the public sphere now. You're in the public eye. And I'm always so interested with that because like I got famous racing mountain bikes and then did a podcast and started talking more about like relationships and stuff, which for whatever reason seemed to land for people. But I've got no qualifications in talking about that. I've never studied any of that. Like I'm just a guy with a microphone in a room talking about experiences I've gone through, and then you put them online, and then if you have an opinion that people don't agree with, it's like you have an obligation
Yeah.
to be. I'm like, I obviously want to say the right thing, but it's also like,
I think,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's a
like there, no matter what industry you're in or what you do, even if, you know, you promote that healthy lifestyle, like you look at some of the health influencers and the fitness influencers of today, they still have people that are against what they're doing, and you're promoting this hustle culture, and now you're promoting that there's too much protein and too many workouts, and there is never, like, you're never going to find that perfect balance. And I think people that get lost in the social media space are the ones that are trying to please everyone, because you are just going to get like absolutely drained out by the ones that are like, just pick their message that's authentic to them and go hard at it, and know that you're going to probably piss off like 40% of the population.
Yeah.
But there's like a 60% there that's like, no, I back him, and I respect what he's doing, and I respect, you know, his values, his approaches. But yeah, you're going to have...
I so want to touch on this thing, but I'm like, I don't want to touch
Go,
on it.
what are you going to touch on? No, treat up.
The thing that like blew up recently
Oh,
for
yeah.
like opinions, but
Well, yeah, like there is someone in the Gold Coast recently that is somewhat getting cancelled because doubled down on an opinion so hard, so loud. And it's like, we've had many conversations about it in the studio, and with other people, because it's like interesting, because he's put himself in a public eye, this person.
yeah.
And we're tiptoeing around this. He's put himself in this public eye, and he's chosen an opinion, and I don't back him for choosing an opinion, but it was almost like the double downing on the message of not being open to listening to other people's like input and their advice around the idea.
I think that was a bit, well, I saw it kind of went the wrong way earlier, but the thing that I think, like you said, really kind of sent it on this spiral was the fact that some things got said. I believe like that the core message that was trying to get said was, I want to be like an alpha, I want to be a supportive husband,
provider.
I want to be a provider, that's my role that I want, like that's my choice. I want to choose, that is my belief and my choice, which you're so
Valued, yeah.
Like have your choice, have your thing. But I think when you wrap it in this very condescending language that makes someone feel less than and makes their existence only seem relevant to make you happy, that's where it's like a really sharp wrong turn. And then for people to come out and say that and
try and make them aware of that almost.
And go, hey, that's not what I meant. Yes, I shouldn't have said that. This is what I meant from it. If you come back and said that, and like, I will come and talk on your podcast, and I will like, let's figure this out. But instead to go, I'm not looking at anyone else, I'm looking at what I'm doing, it just goes like, oh man. Like
I think it's one thing to have an opinion, and like absolutely everyone is like able to have their own opinion, and you should have your own opinion. Like, to not be a sheep and like an NPC, like have your own opinion, stand for something, but don't make other people wrong for having their opinion, and don't tell someone like, no, you're wrong, I'm right. I think that's where the line just gets crossed a little bit. It's like, this is my opinion, you can have yours, sure, but like just sit over there and have yours over there, as opposed to almost looking down the camera lens and saying, you're wrong and I'm right. I think that's where people just get like a bit caught up and a bit offended almost, because no one at the end of the day is wrong. There is no right or wrong. Everyone like has these different opinions.
Just different, yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. We all come from different values and different experiences, and you find your own people in that. Like, you'll find your own tribe. It's so important to find your own tribe. You don't want to be alone in an opinion. And if you are alone in an opinion, you should probably revalue that opinion.
I just think it was funny as well though, because it wasn't, I think the person that said it thought they were attacking him because he had that opinion, but it wasn't like how I looked at it. I was like, you can have that opinion, but just don't wrap it in like misogynistic language to get there. And I think it's like, if you took that and just said, hey, I still agree that I want to be the provider and do that, it's like, sweet, but I'm sorry about saying this other stuff which does make me seem like I'm looking down on them, on women. So I think that was the thing I saw out of it. And then just how you're like, doubling down and kind of going, I'm not listening to anyone else, and blowing it up more so than I think it needed to. It just kind of goes like even for myself, like I'm 30 now and I can still consider myself like a young person that's learning. And I think one of the things about we were talking before he came in, like creating a business or like creating an online personality or doing whatever, like shut up and listen. Like, I
Yeah.
think so many people want to get behind a microphone. It's like ironic me saying this now, but get behind a microphone, get behind a camera
Yeah.
and pretend like they know every single thing that is going on with the world.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that can say stuff and then get a reaction from that and go, oh, maybe that wasn't it. And then own it and go like, I messed up. That's what I believed. Obviously that was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I want to do better. Talk to the people. Like, anytime, I love it when people come at me in like comments or comment sections or stuff like that, because I just have like a chat, like debate with them, and
Yeah.
like you try and take emotion out of it because you're literally a keyboard warrior. Like, you're not gonna get angry at someone
on the street.
Exactly. But like, I always try and figure out, because obviously they have their perspective and I have mine.
Yeah.
Let's figure out each other's and maybe we'll come to like a common ground. But
Yeah.
the fact is, like, you want to have these debates and you want to have these conversations with people and not just go, I'm not listening to you because I've got my strong opinions through my life experiences and I don't care what you got to say and fuck you. And that's just like, that's not going to get anywhere.
No. 100%. It's like that idea of always being a student, and it's the ones that are so closed-minded that you can see it stunts their growth, it stunts their relationships. Like, they're in their own little bubble. And you wonder, like, I guess if that's what they want to do, they're happy doing that, let them. But I think that whole let them thing is just like really taken a lot of the anger out of it for me, because I used to almost get like frustrated when I was like, why can't you just see the other side as well? Like,
Yeah.
I love taking in other opinions, and I've always been really big on it. But yeah, you just sometimes have to just let them do their thing.
That comes back to the whole, like, you can curate your life, and if
Yeah.
someone doesn't see something that you really want them to see, like, you don't have to have them in your life, and people are always going to have different opinions, and that's fine. And I try and, like, I've got friends that look at the world differently than me.
Yeah.
I just don't ask them about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you create so much of your own suffering by poking these different bears in your
100%.
life and then wondering why you get scratched.
Yeah.
And it's like, just don't poke those bears. Like, just
One of my best friends, I've known her for 10 years, and I just absolutely love the way that she talks to people, because she will debate till the end of the world on topics. And we definitely don't see eye to eye on some things, and I know just not to take her down that course, because like, she's such a debater, and it's so interesting. I love that way that her brain will work, but she's also very open-minded. Like, I always see her then sit there and go, oh yeah, that's actually interesting. And I think it's just like that conversation of being like, cool, like, I see how you see it, but just know that you don't have to shape your views to that person either.
Yeah.
And kind of, like you said, decide who you have in your corner, and who you have sort of at arm's reach to be like, yeah, they're my friend, but they're probably not like someone that I'd take to war with me.
Yeah, exactly. But even like with my mum, there's certain things that if she brings them up, I just won't give it any kind of
you
air.
change the topic.
Yeah, I just tell her, I'm like, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, because I know where that goes.
Yeah.
And I don't have it's just.
My parents are the same. It's just like, they're your parents, right? And it's like,
Yeah, she's not leaving.
no, they're your parents. So it's like, well, we'll just not go down that, because we know we're not going to see eye to eye.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
But yeah, I think when it comes to like your close friends and your partner, like, it's important that you agree on most of those things.
Yeah, come to a common ground. But sometimes it's just the less energy you put into something can sometimes be the best thing. Like, I had an example. I would never win an argument with my dad. I just wouldn't win.
Yeah.
He's a very intelligent man, and just whatever I would say just didn't matter. And one time I can't remember what he was annoyed at me for, but I thought it was over nothing. He thought it was a big thing. Anyway, we're driving back home, and it's about a half an hour drive. First 10 minutes, he's yelling at me about, like, you shouldn't have done this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, for whatever reason, I'm like, I know I'm not going to win this, so I'm just going to sit here and just listen.
Silence, yeah.
And I sat there and he yelled at me for the first 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes, he probably didn't really say much at all. And in the last 10 minutes, he apologized and said it was all fine.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting there just like going through this like emotional roller coaster of being yelled at to then like being kind of like reasoned with to then an apology. And I didn't say a single word the entire time.
It's just the self-spiral, really.
Yeah. And it's like, I think so often I've got this analogy where it's like, imagine you're on one side and the person you're fighting with is on the other side. Each time they yell at you, they throw a brick.
Yeah.
And then you yell back and you throw a bit of mortar or concrete.
Yeah.
And then they throw another brick and you throw some mortar and concrete. and this wall keeps on getting bigger and bigger between the two of you, where if someone's throwing bricks and you're not throwing the mortar back, the bricks just like fall over. Eventually the person gets tired, and then they can actually have a conversation with you, and you can figure out whatever it is that you need to figure out.
Yeah.
But it's so often that we both just like throw fire back at each other and anger and hate, and it just builds this wall between us that then we can't.
There's no middle ground.
There's no middle ground. Yeah. So it's like, try and be the person that gives out the what's the leaf called? Like a
The branch, olive branch.
olive branch. Sorry, yeah. Give out the olive branch and just kind of like eat your pride a little bit, and obviously depending on what it is, but yeah, just be the person to say sorry. Give the person a hug.
It's always that like that thing of just killing him with kindness. Sometimes it's like, even though like I've had conversations with people, and it's like, I know that they're wrong. Well, from my opinion anyway, I think that they're wrong, but they are so hell bent on their agenda, and it's like, I'm going to do nothing by trying to then also throw my agenda down their throat. Like, just let them feel the way that they're feeling, and things will eventually like fizzle out. And it takes like, you have to really swallow some pride sometimes, because you do want to go back and forth. And it's like, where is that going to get us? Exactly like you said, it just builds this big wall. It becomes this ugly fight. And it's like, what was the point? What was the purpose? And it's like, well, it's better off just letting them have their peace, especially if they're someone that feels the need to sort of let that out, like your dad in the car. Like, he had to sort of get that off his chest, and he comes around to this whole thing, and he's probably sitting there in his own spiral going, I probably sound a bit crazy right now. And you sometimes just need to let people crash out a little bit, I think.
I really think a great power that you can possess is if you know when to shut up and you know when to walk away.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
Be self-regulating enough to go, this isn't good for me, I'm just going to leave, and knowing you can leave. And I guess that's come back to like setting boundaries, knowing yourself, self-awareness and all of that. But how many times are you in a situation, whether it's at work, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's with your family, and you know it's not going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But you keep biting at
Yeah.
it. You keep saying stuff. You keep complaining. You keep going down this loop of just fuckery, really. And then you just go,
100%.
I just need to leave. I need to walk away. I need to shut up. I
Yeah.
need to listen. I need to go in on me. And you have that ability 24/7.
Yeah.
And so many people, oh, but this, but that. It's like, man, you can
Yeah.
you can walk away.
This whole instance recently where, I definitely, my employment, ex-employment, things like that, and I definitely could have fought a few things and, put up a little bit of a battle because I was in the right. Like, everyone knows I was in the right, and the whole situation. So many people say to me, like, why didn't you fight that? Why didn't you fight that? And to me, okay, there was going to be a bit of a payout if I did, but to me it was an energy thing. I was like, I just did not want that for myself.
Yeah.
It was going to drain me. It was going to just make me constantly think about it. I literally made a decision in that moment that I was not going to think about it again, and I haven't. And it, like, I feel so much better for it. Like, I would have had extra few K in the bank, but it's like, what was that of going
mental strain?
Yeah, you just have to sometimes, it's like, what is the cost of this? And where is my energy going? It's such a big piece to it, because I know without stressing about that, I was able to like grow and be on this trajectory that I'm on a lot faster and a lot smoother without draining me. And same thing when it comes to relationships and exes. And it's like, you can go down this spiral of like, we're going to try it again. We're going to try it again. We're going to try it again. It's like, why are you doing that? Yeah. It didn't work. It didn't work. Just let it go. And I think that's what people are scared of, is just that feeling of, they would rather, what's that saying of like, people would rather the comfortability of the chaos than just like the fear of the unknown, essentially.
I think it's like a nice hell over a scary heaven or something like that. But I think people don't want to be alone. I heard this thing the other day, it's like 80% of people in relationships shouldn't be in relationships.
Yeah,
they just don't know how to be alone. And it's so true. Like, people, it's a scary thought, especially when you're with someone that does a lot of the things right.
Yeah.
But
on paper, they're good.
On paper, even in life, they're good. Yeah. Like, I've dated girls that are great.
Yeah.
But looking back, like, that was not my person.
No.
Like, you look past, like, the rose-colored glasses are a very real thing, and love is blind is 100% a true thing. But you kind of go back and you go, well, she does this all right, she does that all right, and she fits this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like you're
Stop
trying to do
making
this like
excuses.
maths equation to figure out whether this is your person. And you know when someone comes into your life or someone is there, and like you have this pull towards them, you have this comfortability, like you have all these emotions, and it's just like there's no trying to put a list of like, oh, but she does this right and that right and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like you're my, I don't know, I can't explain
The moment
what
you're in your head trying to almost build up, like, it's
evidence.
this thing like of you don't actually like them, you like their potential.
Yeah.
I read that the other day and I was like, wow, like you build up this person of who they could be, you know,
Yeah.
if they do this and they
And
do
then
that.
you try and build that.
Yeah.
You try and craft that. And then you're playing this like
This Bob the Builder type character trying to, build your own partner. It's like that mentality a lot of girls get into of like, I'll fix him, I'll change him.
Yeah.
It's like you won't and you can't and you just need to
and for all those people, they're the people that I say shouldn't be in a relationship because they don't love who they are right now. They love what they could be later.
Yeah.
And they believe they can create that. And it's almost this weird like thing that they have with themselves, like I can change them. It's like it comes from a place of me. It's not coming from a place of them. It's coming from a place of like, you have so much potential. I want to help you unlock your potential and then I'll love you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so what's going on now? It's like, oh, well, now we're in a building phase. Now we've set the foundation.
The business is in the growth phase.
Yeah, we're in the growth phase. We're not making much money. You know, we're just getting through it. But that's so common, and you just stick around because you don't want to go, because like being in that point of like breaking up with someone or not seeing someone, like it's shit. But
Agreed.
like I know from experience, like I've been strung along for a long time with someone knowing full well that like they're gonna leave, and it's just like, oh, I'm fine, it's fine, and then going through that, knowing how much that sucks, I'll be seeing someone. And I'll know that I don't see this going further for whatever reason, through like boundaries that I've set, or like just being able to connect with them, or how busy they are, or their job, whatever it may be. And I know that I could continue this on in a way. Drag it out. I could start seeing someone else.
Yeah.
So then like when we do end up, like we're not even together, but when I do cut it, look, there's this new person.
Feels softer, yeah.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to actually be by themselves. And it was funny because I had this weird kind of epiphany realization that I think like when you do live on the Gold Coast and there is so many good looking people and everyone's very active and out there and dating and all that, and you can get stuck in this like spiral of just like seeing people like very transient and just like hookup culture and all that, and you kind of, I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like that's not where I'm at in this stage of life now. Like I'd want a real connection with someone. So I made a bet with myself that I couldn't see anyone for a month, and I wasn't going to talk to anyone. I wasn't going to put myself out there. I was just going to focus on being healthy and being me. And then someone did pop up. And it's funny when someone does pop up when you're not looking for it. It's like, it's all cliche to say, but it's like when you're just focusing on yourself and you're like, how do I get the best out of me?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty obvious.
Magnetizes.
Well, people see that.
Yeah.
And I thought about this whole, like, because, you know, if someone sees how much love you give to yourself, they unconsciously or consciously think, well, if he gives that much love to himself, imagine how much love he's going to give to me.
Yeah.
Where when you see those people, that's the whole idea about like looking after your garden and all the butterflies will come. It's like looking after yourself. Like people see someone that's healthy, that's fit, that's happy, that's got lots of friends, that's out there, and they go like, he's loving life. He's a cool person. He's having fun. I want some of that.
Yeah.
Then you see someone that's like chasing and talking to all these girls and like always kind of being a bit like sleazy and all that. It's like that doesn't have safe energy attached to it. That's just got this kind of weird like anxious energy, which again is what I know I've been attracted to in the past, where like anxious attachment is fucked as it is a strong attachment to have. Like when you it's like playing the pokies, you're like, am I going to get a jackpot or am I going to lose everything? And I think that's what so many people are attracted to now, is like that, is she going to leave or is he going to leave or is he going to stay? And then I think once you find like proper, true, safe connection and love, it's like it's very exciting, but it's also like you kind of waiting, but it's not there. So then you kind of become uncertain of yourself because you're so used to it just ending or it running away or something changing. So then when you kind of have it safe, it's like then you try. I'm like, even me now, I'm trying to reprogram myself to go like, everything's fine.
It's okay.
It's
normal.
okay. Yeah, it's fine. Like I told you, like my whole romantic life from the age of 16 to 30 has always ended in like getting cheated on or like it going wrong. So it's like to reprogram that and
It's
actively
hard.
be aware of it, to go like, that person can go away or I can go away and I'm not going to come back or get a call saying like, oh, I slept with my ex or I slept with this person or like, oh, we're done. And to not carry that anxious energy with you is like
you have to like actually put effort into like fixing that. I think people that ignore it, like you can't just ignore it. You have to be aware of like your own wounds and the experiences that you've been brought up, whether it was family or whether it was relationships. It's like, what am I conditioned by? What have I, been built by, and how can I actually address these? And also just be like self-aware, but communicate that and say like, I feel sometimes anxious because of this, because of X, Y, and Z. Like, this is my past and this is what shows up for me. So like, I apologize if that's how I am showing up, because I am trying to like kind of sort through that. There is no magic button. Like, I wish there was, but
there's definitely a difference telling your partner, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like this, in a way that's not attacking them.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't be like,
don't say it in the heat of an argument. I always say like, try and communicate these things in conversation as you are getting to know each other before it gets to like this argument, and then they're going to feel like they're on the defense. And you don't want to put yourself like and your partner in this position of like one side versus the other side. It's like we're working through this together.
You've heard like the whole idea of like fruit bowling.
Fruit bowling. Tell me what's fruit bowling.
So like when you have like a fruit bowl, and it's like it's got all these different like bananas, apples, pears, peaches. So if you've got an issue in a relationship, just say someone's not doing the dishes, that's an apple. Someone's like not like whatever. Like so when you have a fight, you fruit bowl, which is like you put all your issues in the one bowl.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of addressing those issues as they arise and addressing one issue at a time, you wait till something pisses you off and you snap, and then you go, well, you do this, and then it's all out there.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not going to like diffuse 10 issues at once. Like just work on the one. And if you can do it in real time, so it kind of just stops it. 'Cause that's what I'm so much more just, this is me, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I'm going to tell you, if you're not into it, sweet. And I think this just all comes with age and understanding that like the right person won't leave.
100%.
And not trying to play a character to keep them there.
Yeah.
Because eventually that's going to wear off and you're not going to want to play a character. You're going to want to be yourself. And if you're like that from the start, you'll be like, oh, well, this is way easier. I can take off the mask and just be me.
Yeah. Like I was having a conversation with someone the other day, or even you tell me this sometimes too. Like, I can be a little bit too open, a little bit too vulnerable sometimes. And, there's these conversations of, no, you can't tell them that, or you can't share that information with them. But to me, it's like the right guy, the guy that is for me, will just like accept that I am so like, this is who I am. This is my past. This is everything about me. I tell strangers on the street, like, I don't hide. I've got a podcast, so I can continue to do that. Like, I don't hide levels and layers of who I am. And it's like, I know if the guy sitting across from me is like, oh, why did you tell me that? You're probably not for me, because this is probably going to happen like 10 more times, because I'm a very open book, and I don't want to have to then close off pieces of who I am just to like, meet, who this guy wants me to be.
Yeah, I think it's hard to give advice when you don't know the person on the other side of that text message, because I've had friends like, oh, what should I say to this person? I'm like, I don't know her.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's like. I don't know her banter. I don't know her, like, how you guys are together. You're asking me what I should say when I've never met the person. I've never seen how she acts. I don't know what you've said prior to this.
It
like,
sometimes helps with my text messages.
Sometimes, but like, sometimes you can help. But I think a lot of people give advice on situations where they have absolutely no clue about what that connection actually is. And it's like, unless you're in it, unless you are one of those two people in that meeting, that connection, that date, that relationship, it's so hard to get advice. So I just try and not ask people for it until I get to a point where I'm like solid with that person. Because I know when I was younger, I used to have a lot of ego attached with like dating women, and I would always like, I think I was proud. Like I think as a kid that didn't get girls when he was younger and wasn't that attractive, when I did start to get good looking girls, I would be like, look at me, I can get good looking girls. And then put that out to the world. And I look back at that and I was like, so egotistical, and it was so just like, it was for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like I think there was a bit that was like I was proud of who I was with, but then also this was like look at me kind of bullshit. So now it's like if I'm seeing someone I really like them, I'm like this can stay hidden for as long as
Yeah,
it can
I
because you don't
agree.
need other opinions.
Like it was just a video I saw the other day or something, and it was like one of my pet peeves is people telling me I know exactly how you feel, because no one is ever going to know exactly how you feel. And it's the same thing. No one's ever going to know the exact dynamic of a relationship. Like you don't know every conversation and the intimacy and even like friendship level, like the things that went on behind the scenes. Like I could sit here and tell you an hour, like debrief, like quick, here's an hour, how do I reply to this text? But you're still not going to get every picture, like, and all of that. So you do need to take people's advice with a grain of salt always. It's like, don't just take what they say for gospel. And I feel like a lot of people do that. Like, oh, but my girlfriend said this.
Yeah. And also, who are you asking?
Yeah.
You asking the girl that hasn't had a stable relationship in the last 10 years, like what to do with like relationship advice?
Yeah.
Or you're asking the girl that's in a 5-year solid
Healthy.
relationship that wants to have kids soon?
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you want to just be validated in your own anger. And so you know who to go to get validated in that anger. And it's like, if you want to get validated in, you know, oh, it's a nice relationship, like you subconsciously sometimes ask the people that you know will give you the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, you want to live in an echo chamber. It feels nice.
Yeah. Be careful of the echo chamber.
Yeah, stay out of the echo chambers, especially on when you're online. Don't just listen to your comments.
No, don't read the comments.
Even if they're nice. You've got to go, don't
I
you?
do have to go.
Amazing.
We said we'd do a quick 30-minute, but
How
it
long
ended
is it?
up being a bit longer.
56 minutes.
Oh, brilliant.
Go Abs!
But
Woo!
thank you, Dean.
Woo-hoo!
There'll probably be more episodes with Dean because we hang out a lot.
Yeah, let's just keep recording. That was nice.
Okay.
That was a little
Bye.
therapy session.